have a few items to address, and first thing I want to address is the mosquito activities. Vector control has been activated. They've gone through some prevention this past week, taking out larvicide, and they've also got their mosquito traps out and analyzing the situation. We would encourage the citizens to, when you do have standing water on your property anywhere, let's say you've got something in your backyard, a bucket or something of that nature, pour that water out. Also mow your grass. Keeping that grass mowed and keeping those those things that can hold water will help keep down the mosquitoes a little bit. We did get about 9.9 inches, almost 10 inches of rain documented out at the airport. However, that did not fall on our watershed and was mostly south of Lake Corpus Christi where we got that water. So the cumulative of Choke Canyon and Lake Corpus Christi still is at 41.1%. Did not get to the 50% that would be required to come out of the contingency plan, the water shortage contingency plan. The good news, however, is that Lake Texana did fill up, and we will likely get an offer from the La Vaca Navidad River Authority to move some of that water this way via the Mary Roads pipeline. So that option will likely present itself. The Utilities Department is going to be holding a public meeting on their water quality report. That will be Monday, July 9th at 6 p.m. at the Water Utilities Building at 2726 Holly Road. That report will also be made available through the mail for those that received their notices by mail. And finally, Mayor, we need to make a qualifying statement on, there were some statements at the last workshop, and I do have a statement prepared to me by the city attorney relevant to some of the discourse that occurred. And at last Thursday's meeting, a statement was made by two of the presenters that firefighting is a young man's job. And that statement represented only the personal opinion of those that were presenting. The city and its managers do not discriminate on the basis of age or sex, and we do not endorse the viewpoint presented by that statement. And Mayor, we do have some recognitions as well. If I could have Kim and others join me in the front. These utilities team and the public information team. Mayor, I'm going to hand the mic off to Kim here pretty quickly. But one of the things that is, the mission statements were mentioned earlier, one of the things that our team has been challenged with is excellence and getting the bar, raising the bar on what we do here in the community. And there were two events that really raised the bar and received recognition. And one of those recognitions was the Texas section of the American Water Works Association. The Utilities Department earned the Watermark Award, and that award was given as a result of the video that was created by our communications department highlighting the current water quality projects. And the other one was for our City Hall in the mall. We received from the Texas Association of Municipal Information Officers an award as well for the 2017 event that we had, and fortunately that's coming up again this weekend, so we're really excited about that. And that was a groundbreaking event. There are communities across the state that are looking at what we did to see how they too can reach out to their community in similar fashion. With that, I want to pass that over to Kim, and thank you all for all that you've done.
The team here represents only a portion of our entire team, and Crystal Ibanez is here representing water, and we couldn't do what we do without all of our department partners, and specifically our council partners as well. They were the ones that encouraged us to create this video, and we created the video, and it's on the water page, and it talks about all the improvements since we had the water boils in the past and the water ban, and what the city has done to make those improvements. And Eva Padilla is holding the award, is the one that actually did all of the video recording and shooting the video and editing, and she was able to go with Crystal and accept the award on behalf of the city. The other part of my team is the City Hall and the Mall team. Of course, not everyone is here. Rick is back in the control room running the cameras. Tracy Valdez is back in our community communications office. Israel Cano does our social media. Gabriela Morrow is our public information officer that handles utilities. Deanna McQueen is our public information manager. And of course, Tracy Cantu is our assistant director. With that, City Hall and the Mall is this Saturday. I hope everyone will come out and visit with the city departments. It's a great big show and tell. It's going to be bigger and better than it was last year. And we are so excited that the community has embraced this event and that La Palmera graciously hosts us to all of our residents and citizens. So thank you.
And Mayor, it really is a coincidence, but today we do have the CPR report from Animal Care.
All right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, City Council, City Manager. My name is Mike Gillis. I am the Program Manager for Animal Care Services and Vector Control. Let's pull up the right chart here. Okay, I'd like to take a quick moment to thank you for allowing me to present the Animal Care Services portion of the city's performance report. It's my pleasure to present you with this. The mission of the Corpus Christi Animal Care Services is to promote responsible pet ownership, to prevent the spread of animal-borne diseases, and to protect the public by seizing public nuisance animals. Regarding our operational profile, Animal Care Services became part of the Corpus Christi Police Department during 2012. At that same time, Vector Control was added as well. Animal Care Services is open to the public 6 days a week while maintaining 24/7 services in the field and in the kennels. In addition to mosquito abatement, which as you can imagine right now we are running 24/7, and bee control, our Vector Control team also takes care of all of the CCPD pest control in their buildings. I'd now like to draw your attention to our baseline information. As you can see, we've remained relatively flat for the past 4 years in maintaining personnel-wise. We have 19 animal control officers. Right now, I'm proud to say we only have 1 vacancy, thank goodness. We also have 3 vector control officers, which are running almost full speed round the clock right now. I'd now like to pull up let me put my eyes on. Some of our performance indicators I'd like to draw your attention to. This one is the number of citations issued. As you can see, we've had a drastic spike over the past few months. This is as a result of a concerted effort to curb violations via citations as well as education. I'd also like to point out while we're discussing this that this month our municipal judges have started to assign mandatory responsible pet ownership classes to folks who are coming in addition to their citations. These classes are going to be held at Animal Care Services, and the training is going to be provided by PAC. So we're very excited about that. And a note on that, I checked with PAC, these classes are not, they're not limited to just offenders. They're open to citizens. So we're hoping we can get that word out and educate our community and therefore preventing even more violations. Okay, next, I'd like to go back and point out our number of adoptions. Okay, I'd like to draw your attention to that black line down the bottom. That is our own baseline, our goal that we set of adopting 50 animals a month. And you can see for the past 12 months, we have very much so exceeded that. I'd also like to draw your attention to the significant dip heading down to February. That was a result for preparing for and the acceptance of 80 animals, 80 dogs from a hoarding case. So once we filled up all of our kennels with unavailable dogs, certainly our adoptions were going to go down. But I would like to add in there that even during that month of February, we still met our goal by adopting out 52 animals. And one more area I'd like to cover, which I think is very significant, is the animals received by our rescue partners. Our rescue partners take more than 100 animals a month. That's a huge number. And I'd publicly like to take a second here to thank our many rescue partners and our volunteers, as we certainly couldn't do what we do for our community without them. So my big heartfelt thanks to them. Okay, I'd like to thank you again for allowing me an opportunity to cover some of our performance indicators and present to you. And that concludes my portion. I'll stand by for any questions.
Thank you for your work. Ms. Rubio, your light on. Did you want to say something?
I just have a quick question. Since we're having problems with mosquitoes, we were out of town, okay? We came home late last night, and oh my God, I mean, there were so many mosquitoes, it was just horrible. So one of the questions that I was asked by the media, do we have enough of...
The chemicals?
Yes, I couldn't think of the poison. What is it called? You know, so my brain's going all over the place. Yeah, enough chemicals to make sure that we cover what is needed in our city.
Yes, ma'am, we do. We have enough certainly to cover this event, and I'm working with the city and the county to ensure that we can replenish everything that we use during this rainfall event. So we have plenty. And we started applying larvicide first thing Saturday morning.
Okay, and my second question is, are we going to be able to put something on the website that says we're going to go out in this area to spray, or we're going to go on this side of town to spray? I mean, how are you going to be able to work and get the whole city sprayed?
That is my goal, is to get an up-to-date map out there. You know, with our community ever changing and the roads changing, we do have an older map, and we have 32 sections that mosquito abatement uses within the community. and they target based on, we also have 50 traps or so out there. And the question comes up, why are you spraying here? That's based on the number of mosquitoes that we see in the traps. The more mosquitoes, obviously, the higher the infestation, and the more urgent it is that we get out there.
Okay.
But I do plan on coming up with a way to inform our community. We do the best we can in answering the questions when they come in. Our local news media has been very helpful
Right.
in spreading the word.
I think if you can connect with the media, and then also if we can have some sort of a plan, Mr. Selman, to put it in some sort of a color-coded segment of our city, you know, they're going to be on this side of town or whatever. I know that in my area, we were facing West Nile back in, I think, 16. So, you know, I'm concerned, and I'm going to make sure that all our citizens are properly taken care of by the spraying being done, not just one section of town, but the entire city. And I know it takes time, and I know you don't have enough trucks, but a way for us to find out where you're going to be. Okay? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. On West Nile, I'd like to point out, since Tuesday is the day we collect our traps, we have a separate type of trap that attracts the mosquitoes which carry diseases like the West Nile. And I was very pleased, I was there when they came in today, to see that we did not have those type of mosquitoes in the trap. So
Good.
that was a relief. We had our fingers crossed when we went out to get them. We had a couple in there, but not a huge amount in. We send every one of them on Tuesdays, every mosquito in those particular ones, up to Austin for testing every week.
And then I guess because of the animals, you know, a lot of folks leave their animals outside, and those poor animals are being bit. Is there any suggestions you can put on your website for those pet owners that don't know what to do? They can spray their animals with like the off or whatever. You know, there's some folks that were asking me, can we do this or can we not? So that'd be a good thing to maybe put on your website also for
Sure.
those
Thank you.
in your Facebook. And thank you to all the volunteers that are out there at the animal control. Thank you, Linda.
Ms. Opal?
Thank you, Mayor. You know, many years ago, the city of New York was probably one of the first large cities that had to deal with West Nile virus. And of course, there are a lot more tools that we have today with social media, certainly the support of our traditional media. But at the time, they actually were sending people door to door, knocking on doors and saying, hey, if you have anything that holds water, you need to turn it over and you need to make sure you are not having water. I know that all of us have been a little complacent. It got a little dry. Any effort that we can, sometimes I think about what happened post-Hurricane Harvey. While all the social media was going on, they printed up door hangers and put them out on doors. So if there are areas where we feel there are particular concerns, for example, as Ms. Rubio suggested, in her district where West Nile or some other troubled mosquito infestation shows up, perhaps we need to think about going back to some traditional means as well, so that we can help people understand those basics of how they can manage not having standing water on their property. Because I can tell you, I went out this morning, I have been out of town, and clearly I had the need to turn some pots over because they were holding tremendous amounts of water. So we just have to encourage people to do that and make them aware that we contribute to some of that as well. So thank you. Oh, one more question. Mr. Selman, this may be, we had our communications team. So in a situation like this where it really is rather crucial, this is an important thing for our community, is there like a communications, I'm going to say this, you sat down, SWAT team, and I mean one of these, not that, but a SWAT team that you do this, to sit down and really think about some non-traditional ways or try to get people more engaged in understanding the importance of taking that simple action of just dumping something over and getting that water out of there. Because that's where the larvae live. So,
Ms. Opal, Assistant Chief Blackman, Police Department, you're exactly right. It's the face-to-face contacts and it's the preempting this before there are infestations. So we are doing that. So what we're doing is our code enforcement officers, everybody that the utilities, we're working to get them the donuts, which are the ones you throw in the water. So when we see the standing water, they're pitching these things, and we're telling people when they're making these other calls, hey, can you empty your water? Can you get this stuff cleared up? So we're taking that exact step.
I really appreciate that, because it's also important that people understand that you can do that for yourself. If you have standing water, you can run by one of the hardware stores, and those are very effective tools at diminishing that population. So I'm really happy to hear that you guys are out and about, and as always, ahead of the curve. So we appreciate you being out there and doing that. It's the best we can do.
Mr. Garza? Mr. Garza?
I'm sorry, I came in a little bit late on the conversation, but last year I thought we were just basically treating the water, and we did a little bit of spraying. Are we going to do more spraying this year? I mean, I've got people already calling, asking what we're doing about the mosquitoes.
Yes, sir. We treated with the larvicide, which
Right,
to
the
prevent them
larvicide,
hatching
what
over the weekend. And last night, we began our spraying
Spraying,
of the adulticide to get the flying pest
so
mosquitoes.
you-
And we're going to
you-
continue doing that every single night until
Okay,
this.
perfect, okay. Thank you.
Ms. Guajardo?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Gillis. I was wondering what, you being new to our city, and thank you for your leadership there at CCAC, what are your live release goals for dogs and cats?
I'm hesitant to say numbers on the spot, but certainly my goal is to increase our numbers, increase our live release as much that is feasible and realistic. I'm very proud of the numbers we have now with dogs. We're hovering right at about 90%, maybe a little below 90%. I think that's a fantastic job done by the city of Corpus Christi and everybody, prior to me getting here. We're a smaller community. I think that's noteworthy. Can we do better? Absolutely, we can do better. And it's through a number of things. It's through public education, certainly increasing our help from the community with volunteers. We can do better, but I came from a community where they wanted it to be 100%. And I'm not so sure that's feasible.
It's a great goal, but I understand. And again, I thank you for being here because we welcome you, and I really
Thank
look
you.
forward to sitting down and visiting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Roy?
A couple weeks ago, we were talking about the issue out in the Hillcrest area with people abandoning their dogs. A lot of people because moving and they're being displaced. And I just wondered, have you had any particular numbers or anything in that area or concentration where you've had success as far as trying to police up some of those animals?
We have gone out there. I go out there every week, and the numbers have been minimal, maybe one or two animals. I don't know off the top of my head exactly how many, but it was not anything notable. We certainly do some sweeps in other neighborhoods where we do attract more of the animals and get to bring them in.
Any other comments, questions? Well, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we'll have a mosquito rodeo, I guess, one of these days. Anything else, Mr. Selman?
No, Mayor.